Government Motion. A proposed resolution moved by the Secretary for Justice under the Fatal Accidents Ordinance. Members who wish to speak, please press the Request to Speak button, and I'll call upon the Secretary to speak and move the motion. President, I move that the motion as printed on the agenda be passed. The purpose of this resolution is to increase the statutory sum of damages for bereavement, the bereavement sum for short under Section 4(3) of the Fatal Accidents Ordinance, the ordinance for short, from $231,000 to $242,500. The ordinance was enacted in 1986. It allows an action for damages to be brought against a person for the benefit of the dependents of the deceased in respect of that person's wrongful act, neglect, or default which has caused the death of the deceased. An action under the ordinance may include a claim for damages for bereavement in the sum as prescribed in Section 4(3). Section 4(5) of the ordinance provides that the legco may by resolution vary the sum. Since the enactment of the ordinance, the bereavement sum was adjusted upward 4 times in 1991, 1997, 2018, and 2020. The current sum was adjusted in the last review in 2020 to $231,000. In 1997, the then Attorney General undertook to review the statutory bereavement sum biannually to reflect inflation. In the review in 2018, the government renewed its commitment to review the bereavement sum every 2 years to take into account inflation by making reference to the Consumer Price Index A. The present cycle of biannual review examines the impact of inflation experienced over the reference period from 2020 to 2022 by making reference to the CPIA. The use of the 12-month average CPIA figures provides a robust calculation which is less affected by erratic fluctuations. For the present cycle, the government proposes to compare the average CPIA for the 12-month period ending September 2020 with March 2020. The cutoff point of the last review was roughly the center of the averaging period, and the one ending December 2022 is the most up-to-date figure within the reference period. The rate of change was 4.9%. Accordingly, the government proposes today's resolution to make a commensurate increase for the sum from $231,000 to $242,500 to reflect the inflation as measured by CPIA over the period. Upon passage, the resolution would take effect from the date of its publication in the Gazette. Panel on Administration of Justice and Legal Services, the Law Society of Hong Kong, the Hong Kong Bar Association, and the Hong Kong Federation of Insurers have been informed of the outcome of the review and the government's proposal to move today's motion. Well, in the run-up to and during the review in 2018, there were suggestions that in addition to making reference to the CPIA, there should also be a comprehensive review of the manner in which the sum should take into account factors other than inflation. This is a different matter and should not affect the current biannual review exercise to reflect inflation by making reference to the CPIA. The government will separately report on the suggestion of a comprehensive review at an appropriate time. With these remarks, I urge members to support the motion. Does any member wish to speak? If not, we now proceed with the voting. I put a question to you that the Secretary's motion be passed. Will those in favor please raise their hands? Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of members present. I declare the motion passed. I now adjourn the Council until 11 a.m. on Wednesday, 10th of May 2023.